Brandon.
Thanks, Lisa. In 2008, I was volunteered by some of my college peers for an event at my campus called Big Man on Campus. And for your visual, is basically a sad reenactment of a male beauty pageant. I didn't realize it at the time, but this beauty pageant had one segment that was going to change my perspective and my outlook on life. Now, it's set up like your typical beauty pageant. There's a talent show, a swimwear competition, and a formal wear competition. Which, in my defense, they told me evening gown, and I'm sticking by that story. Now, I say that there's one segment that changed my life. The dress isn't what I'm talking about. There was a question and answer segment that, like any other typical beauty, I found myself stumped when they proposed this question. What did they hit me with? Is your cup half empty or half full? Now, at the time, I was a fairly confident 22-year-old, and I responded with the only thing that was on my mind at the time, and that is there beer in that cup? I'm glad you find it funny. The judges were actually faculty members and the dean of students. And despite my charm and how good I look in that dress, they didn't find it so funny. However, I posed a good question at the time. The cup, its fluid level isn't what matters. What matters is what we're putting into it. What are you pouring into your cup? The cup being yourself, your life, your goal, your dreams, your aspiration. What are you putting into that to ensure that you don't become complacent? So I went home and I started to research this idea. And let me clarify when I say research. Being under the age of 28, when somebody says that they research something, that means they put it into Google, read 3 pages. If that doesn't come back with anything that they like, then they try Wikipedia. So when Wikipedia and Google both failed me, I really started to struggle with this idea. It consumed me for weeks. I started to lose sleep over it. I had the visions of cups in my head, half full, half empty. And it started to really bother me. And then one night at 3 a.m., I woke up out of a dead sleep. Boom, it hit me. The question isn't about is the cup half empty or half full. It's your outlook on personal growth. So that night, I took down a bunch of notes, went back to sleep, and in the morning I woke up anxious to see what I had written the day before. Now, just so you know, I have the handwriting that about a 5th grade level. So you can imagine the next morning when I woke up to see my notes that I'd written in the dark the night before, the hieroglyphics that I had to decipher. Even amongst all the chicken scratch and drawings, there was one clear image, bold title across the top of the page. Grow your cup. Now, grow your cup isn't about, or people want to talk about is the cup half empty or half full, optimism versus pessimism, but like I said earlier, we're not looking at the right question. What we need to be looking at is what do we need to do to promote personal growth? And once we have filled our cup, are we going to be content with that? Or are we going to take necessary steps to graduate into a bigger cup? Think about it like this. Optimism is kind of like owning a brand new BMW without an engine inside of it. It looks flashy in the driveway, your friends will be buzzing about it, but realistically all it's good for is either a makeout session in the back seat or pretending that you're Jeff Gordon coming around the last turn of the Daytona 500, racing for that checkered flag, trying to end up in the winner's circle. That's it. Optimism requires action to promote growth. So what is growth? Growth, I've narrowed it down to 4 simple things. 4 things that you can do every day to ensure that you're improving on a personal level and that you never fill your cup. The first is fitness. We've heard about this today. Apparently fitness is not that as intense as we thought it was. But fitness, do something every day to raise your heart rate. Science proves time and time again that by being physically active, we build confidence, we're more productive in our lives, and everybody wants to have that. Something simple, parking further away from the store and walking. Simple activities that'll get you to promote your well-being. The second topic is enjoyment. Do something every day that makes you happy. Set aside joy, happy, excitement. Even if it's playing Angry Birds during my speech, like I see a few of you are doing. I know Emily said she can't see anything with the spotlight, but that light glows a little. I'm okay with that. That puts you in a good sense of feeling. Do what makes you happy. Do what you enjoy. The third, which is a big one, is reflect. Meditate on where you are in your life. Learn from your failures. Celebrate your successes. Focus on your future and what you want, where you want to be, the things you want, the job, the car, the house, the relationships. How are you going to get to that point? And really concentrate on the actions you take to do that. And fourth and finally is learn. Socrates once said, the more I learn how little I know. Think about that for a second. The more I learn how little I know. Expand your knowledge every day. And where it might be fun to learn about what kind of booties the Kardashians are putting on their kittens, I'm talking more about a world and local community that surrounds you. By learning new ideas and concepts, you open a whole new realm of possibilities. You'll find yourself discovering new topics and ideas that you never before previously knew even existed. Optimism versus pessimism is only part of the discussion. By doing those 4 simple things, you ensure that you never become complacent, that you're always growing. And when you leave here today, I want you to ask yourself a couple questions. Are you satisfied with your life? And are you doing the things necessary to celebrate the little actions to grow your cup? Cheers.